Krishnamurti's wisdom, freedom from conditioning. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. How free are you? Truly free? Not just in the physical sense, but in your mind, your emotions, your beliefs. Are you living your life, or are you living a script handed down to you by society, culture, religion, and your past experiences? Jiddu Krishnamurti once said, "It is no measure of health to be well-adjusted to a profoundly sick society." Let that sink in for a moment. Are we so conditioned by the norms and expectations of the world around us that we've forgotten what it means to see reality clearly and live authentically? Today, we're diving deep into this concept of freedom from conditioning, how we can break free from the mental and emotional chains that hold us back, and how we can reclaim our authentic selves. This isn't just philosophy. This is about real, actionable change. And by the end of this video, you'll not only understand the conditioning that binds you, but you'll have the tools to start dismantling it. One layer at a time. Understanding conditioning. Let's start with what conditioning really means. Conditioning is the mental programming we've absorbed from our environment. From the moment we're born, society starts whispering in our ear. This is who you are. This is what you should believe. This is how you should behave. Parents, teachers, religion, media, culture, all these forces shape our thoughts, emotions, and decisions. Krishnamurti said, "Freedom is not the absence of commitment, but the ability to choose and commit myself to what is best for me." The problem is, most of us don't even realize we're not choosing. We're reacting. We're living pre-programmed lives, chasing goals that aren't even ours, fearing failure because someone told us we're only valuable if we succeed. But here's the thing. Conditioning is not destiny, it's a lens, not a fact. And like any lens, it can be cleaned, adjusted, or even discarded. Step 1, awareness. See the cage. The first step to freedom is awareness. You cannot change what you cannot see. So ask yourself, what beliefs do I hold that might not be mine? What fears keep me in a box? What expectations am I trying to live up to, and whose are they really? Take out a journal. Write down your answers. Be brutally honest. Awareness isn't comfortable. It's like shining a light into a dark attic. You'll find cobwebs, old junk, and maybe a few skeletons. But awareness is power, because once you see the cage, you can begin to unlock the door. Here's a thought-provoking question for you. What would your life look like if you lived with no fear of judgment? Imagine the choices you'd make, the paths you'd explore, and the dreams you'd chase. Step 2. Question everything. Krishnamurti said, "The ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence." We need to develop this skill, the ability to step back and simply observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Why? Because judgment comes from conditioning. When you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," stop and ask, according to whom? Where did this belief come from? Is it even true? When you're angry or afraid, ask, what triggered this? Am I reacting to the present moment, or is this an old wound being poked? Write these questions down. Use them as a framework to dissect your thoughts and emotions. The more you question, the more you'll uncover, and the weaker the grip of conditioning becomes. Ask yourself this. What are the stories I've been telling myself about who I am? Are they empowering me or limiting me? What if I rewrote those stories? Step 3. Let go of labels. Another powerful insight from Krishnamurti. When you call yourself an Indian or a Muslim or a Christian or a European or anything else, you are being violent. Do you see why it is violent? Because you are separating yourself from the rest of mankind. Labels divide us, from others and from ourselves. When we cling to labels like success, failure, introvert, extrovert, we limit ourselves to the boundaries of those definitions. Let go of the need to fit into a box. You are not a fixed identity. You are a dynamic, evolving being. Action item. Practice saying, "I am more than any label." When someone asks who you are, resist the urge to rattle off titles or roles. Instead, simply say, "I'm a work in progress." Here's a challenge for you. For 1 week, refuse to identify with any label. Instead of saying, "I'm bad at math," say, "I'm learning to improve my math skills." Notice how this subtle shift changes your perspective. Step 4. Embrace vulnerability. Here's a hard truth. Breaking free from conditioning isn't easy because it requires vulnerability. It means admitting that you don't have all the answers, that you've been wrong, that you've been living in ways that don't serve you. But vulnerability is the birthplace of courage. When you're willing to face your fears and let go of the masks you've been wearing, you create space for your true self to emerge. Action item. Choose one area of your life where you've been holding back out of fear. Maybe it's expressing your feelings, pursuing a passion, or setting boundaries. Take one bold, vulnerable step today. Share your feelings with a loved one. Start that project you've been putting off. Say no to something that doesn't align with your values. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I let my guard down? And what's the best that could happen if I showed up as my authentic self? Step 5. Redefine success. Society has conditioned us to equate success with external achievements. Money, status, possessions, but true success is about inner fulfillment. Krishnamurti said, "It is truth that liberates, not your effort to be free." The truth is, you are already enough. Success is not about becoming someone else. It's about uncovering who you really are and living in alignment with that truth. Action item. Create your own definition of success. Write it down. What does a fulfilled, meaningful life look like to you? Forget what society says. This is your life. Here's a deeper question. If you had all the money and time in the world, what would you do? Who would you be? Use this as a starting point to redefine success on your own terms. Step 6. Meditate and observe. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools for breaking free from conditioning. It trains your mind to observe thoughts and emotions without getting entangled in them. It creates space between the stimulus and your response. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath. When thoughts arise, don't fight them. Just notice them and let them pass like clouds in the sky. Over time, you'll develop a deeper sense of clarity and presence. Ask yourself, what if I approached meditation not as a chore, but as an act of self-love and self-discovery? Step 7. Surround yourself with truth seekers. Your environment shapes you. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to think deeply, who encourage you to grow, who support your journey toward authenticity. Distance yourself from those who perpetuate negativity or hold you to old, limiting versions of yourself. Action item. Seek out a mentor, join a group, or start a conversation with someone you admire. Share your journey and listen to theirs. Growth thrives in community. Ask yourself, who in my life inspires me to be the best version of myself, and who in my life holds me back? What steps can I take to shift my environment for the better? Step 8. Take radical responsibility. Here's the kicker. Freedom is your responsibility. No one else can do this for you. Krishnamurti said, you must understand the whole of life, not just one little part of it. That is why you must read, look at the skies, sing and dance and write poems and suffer and understand, for all that is life. Embrace the fullness of life. Take ownership of your growth. Stop waiting for permission or perfect circumstances. Start where you are, with what you have. Action item. Commit to one new habit that aligns with your authentic self. Maybe it's journaling, meditating, reading books that challenge your perspective, or simply spending more time in nature. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today to take responsibility for my freedom and happiness? Closing thoughts. As we wrap up, let me leave you with this. Freedom from conditioning is not a destination. It's a journey. It's a process of unlearning and relearning, of shedding the layers that don't serve you and stepping into the infinite potential of who you truly are. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Why? Because every time you engage, you're not just supporting this channel. You're joining a community of truth seekers, people who are committed to breaking free, growing together, and making this world a better place. And when you share this content, you're spreading that ripple effect of change to others. So let's do this together. Let's question, grow, and create a life that's truly our own. Remember, the journey to freedom begins with a single step. Take that step today.